Councilmember Stamm.
Present.
So I'll stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Like it'll be the pledge of allegiance tonight. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Moving on to the approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Hold on.
Got Matt and Ben. Matt?
Is this the time to pull something off the consent agenda?
Yeah.
I'd like to pull item K off and add it as new business.
Okay.
And we are also, I don't know if we have the updated agenda. Okay. We're going to delete item B on new business. So everything will move up, and then Matt's item will be item E.
Move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as amended. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say for raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to the approval of the meetings, council meeting minutes of October 21st, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of October 21st, 2025, regular council meeting as presented. Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the council minutes of October 21st, 2025. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify for raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to presentations and proclamations. We have both tonight, so Kyle?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm excited to present a merit award to Christy Miller and Paul Prince Pet Supply. I nominated Paul Prince for a Department of Commerce to the Stars Business Award for Main Street Momentum. This has been going on for a few years with the state, and we really wanted to, make sure we try to get Valley Center businesses recognized at a state level as well. So we nominated Christy, as I said, for Main Street Momentum, for her growth on Main Street, her investment in Main Street, and then for all of her commitment to the Main Street organization, everything that she does to kind of help promote Main Street Valley Center. So Christy, if you want to come up. So I have the certificate here for you for the merit award. And then the governor and lieutenant governor provided me with a letter, and then the program from the award ceremony. So the awards ceremony was 3 weeks ago in Pittsburgh. I went down for the award ceremony, and we're in the South Central region, which is a very large region when it comes to the award group. So Christy was up against a bunch of businesses in the area, but I brought back that merit award for her and wanted to present it to her this evening.
As you guys all laid out. Thank you.
Congratulations. Moving on to Employee Longevity Awards.
I've done this for 9 years now, I think. Introduced that the Longevity Awards are recognized at the League of Kansas Municipalities annual meeting. And there's a program where anyone that the cities recognize for their longevity, it begins at 10 years and goes on up from there. I mean, we've had everybody from the 10 years up to 35, 40. So we do have 3 people today, but that's kind of the background of it. And it also always goes by the date of their meeting. So it doesn't fall completely within our years, but that's how the criteria is. So those are the backgrounds, and I will let Boyd start out, I guess.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. If I start coughing or my voice cracks, my allergies are flared up with all the wind we've had lately. To start off with, Nick Banning's being recognized for 25 years of dedicated service to the city of Valley Center. Nick began his career as a part-time firefighter before transitioning to a full-time role as a dispatcher, all while continuing to serve as a firefighter. His dedication and leadership were evident early on, earning him a promotion to lieutenant as a part-time firefighter. The dispatch, most of you know, dispatch kind of went away, and so he had left that, but he continued with the fire department. In 2021, Nick returned to his full-time service with the city as a captain on the fire department. His commitment, his professionalism, and steady leadership have made him a lasting impact on the department and the community that we all enjoy serving. Thank you, Nick. Thank you.
You want anybody else to join you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get one for my family.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Chief. Come back up here, Chief.
I think that's very appropriate.
Christy was right. She mentioned that. It is the family as well. They're missing the holidays, birthdays, sporting events, and even when they go home at night, they get called back out. Nick and I were talking earlier this evening. They had training last night. He was out. He made it home and made it to bed about midnight before he had his first call out at 5 something this morning. So it's a lot of long hours and a lot of dedication. Samuel Burkholder is recognized. He goes by Sam, by the way. Sam is recognized for his dedicated service to the citizens of Valley Center. Sam began his career with the city in 2010 as a member of the Public Works Department and joined the fire department 2 years later as a part-time firefighter. Even after leaving Public Works, where he achieved the position of chief water operator, Sam continued his commitment to serving the community as well in the fire department. His hard work, professionalism, and leadership were recognized with a promotion to lieutenant just this summer in July. We are grateful for Sam's continued dedication and service to the citizens of Valley Center. Yes.
I'm going to come down there. I think I like being on this side. We're here to present an award, a longevity award to Christy. 15 years.
It says 10.
That's 10.
10 years.
Feels like 15,
Just
doesn't
felt
it?
like 15.
Last meeting, he was like 7.
Yeah.
That's okay. Christy was hired in 2015 as the city clerk. She brought the expertise with payroll, capers, agenda, and minutes from working with Dodge City and Dodge City Public Library. She began the dual role of city clerk and HR director in February 2024. In October of 2025, she began the co-interim city administrator. Christy serves on the Kansas Municipalities Insurance Trust Board, served as president of the local PSHRA chapter. She is a member of the Kansas CCFOMA chapter and a certified municipal clerk with International Institute of Municipal Clerks.
I would add that she's probably done 15 years worth of work. 10 years.
Yeah. I just want to thank all the employees we had tonight. That's a long time. I said, every time I see Nick, he keeps making me get older and older because I coached him in Little League soccer. So anyway, I appreciate your guys' service and dedication to the city. Now we're moving on to the public forum.
We've got one more.
Oh, got one more. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I got to read again. We have a proclamation tonight. Proclamation for Military Appreciation Month. Whereas the freedom and security of all citizens of the United States enjoy today are directly results of the bloodshed and continued vigilance given by the United States Armed Forces over the history of our great nation. And whereas the sacrifice that such members of the United States Armed Forces and the families, members that support them have preserved the liberties that have enriched this nation, making it unique in the world community. And whereas we are celebrating November 11th, 2025, Veterans Day, we are calling on all Americans to remember those who gave their lives in defense of freedom, and to honor the men and women of all our armed services who have and are now serving our country together with their families. And as we celebrate the Victory in Europe, VE Day, Military Spouse Day, Loyalty Day, Armed Forces Day Week, National Day of Prayer, Memorial Day, Navy Day, Army Day, and Flag Day. Therefore, I call upon all citizens to display the flag of the United States and to participate in activities in the community. I therefore call upon all Americans, including civic and fraternal organizations, places of worship, school, to support this day with commemorative expressions and programs. Now, therefore, I, James Truman, Mayor of the City of Valley Center, Kansas, do hereby proclaim the month of November 25th a special time to show appreciation for our military and proclaim it as Military Appreciation Month in the City of Valley Center, Kansas, and encourage all citizens to join me in showing our gratitude by appropriate display of flags and ribbons during the designated periods. Thank you. Nothing better than that day. Dad, brothers, grandsons currently serving, so this is an important day. So moving on to public forum now. Is there anyone here that'd like to address the public on any item that's not on the agenda? It'd be Alan Davis. Huh? That's an agenda item? Okay, we'll wait till we get to that item then. I'm sorry. He says code enforcement on my thing. And that's not on the agenda. So come to the podium, sir. State your name and address.
Hello, my name is Alan Davis. I live at 1330 West 63rd North. I'm in Ward 4. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you tonight regarding an ongoing issue that continues to disrupt our peace and challenge the integrity of our city's ordinances. The issue is simple. It's roosters that continue to reside in our neighborhood, prohibited by City Ordinance 621040. This is not a new concern. It began with one neighbor who introduced a rooster to their property, and despite repeated complaints and clear guidelines in our city code, no effective action has been taken to remove it. The problem has been going on for over 4 years. Other neighbors hearing the roosters and seeing no enforcement have begun acquiring roosters themselves. What started as a single violation has now become a pattern, one that undermines the rule of law and the quality of life in our neighborhood. We're not here to vilify anyone. We are here to ask, why is the ordinance not being enforced? The city ordinance exists for a reason: to protect residents from noise disturbances, health concerns, and the escalation of animal-related conflicts. When enforcement is inconsistent or absent, it sends a message that ordinances are optional. That message is now echoing quite literally through our streets every morning and afternoons as well. We've tried to resolve this through neighborly dialogue and formal complaints, but without follow-through from the city, our efforts fall flat. We are asking for accountability, clarity, and most importantly, we are asking for action. We also have other problems with code enforcement in this neighborhood: dead cars, construction and farm equipment, 10-foot high weeds, illegal fences that cross property lines, and worst of all, raw sewage being dumped and reported, and nobody seems to do anything about it. And as far as I know, it's still going on. As far as the rooster, all of this can be put into a nuisance code that is 621060. Please help us restore order and peace in our neighborhood by enforcing the ordinance as written. Thank you for your time. You got any questions?
Thanks, sir.
That's it. Have a great day.
Moving on to new business. Prairie Lakes Phase 5, Pearson Construction Agreement.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Samantha Garib, and I'll be representing SCH this evening. What you have in front of you is a construction agreement between Pearson Construction and the City of Valley Center for Prairie Lakes Phase 5 improvements. This project total is $589,503.03, which council previously approved as they were the lowest bidder for this project. They're planning to get started in January with a substantial completion date of May 15, 2026, and a final completion date of May 25, 2026.
Any questions or comments? Get a motion to approve?
I move to approve agreement with Pearson Construction LLC for the Prairie Lakes Phase 5 improvements in the amount of $589,503.03 and authorize the mayor to sign.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with Pearson Construction. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to discussion regarding sign regulations. That Kyle?
All right. Good evening again, Mayor and Council. This item's a little different because of the severity and extent of the storm. Normally, I wouldn't come to you to ask for guidance on enforcing our code because we have staff that do that. This storm, though, has hit basically every property in town. There have been roofing signs put on probably half of those properties. And we did pull them from street corners, the signs from these roofing companies, we did pull them from street corners, from public property, anywhere that was not in front of a residence as they were being put out. However, several residents requested that we do not pull their signs from their right of way because it's stopping other contractors from coming to their homes. They once they committed to somebody and their sign was put in their yard, it stopped others from knocking on their door because they didn't want to keep having solicitors come interrupt them. We're to the point now where we are over 2 months past this storm. We are looking to potentially start removing these signs, but we don't want to. We know people are still roofing. There's still permits being pulled. So we don't want to go out and just pull all the signs before the roofs are done. However, for us to check every single address to see if and when the permit has been pulled, if it has been pulled yet, would take way more staff time than we have. So what we are proposing is that we notify all residents via our social media and TextMyGov that after November 30th, if the sign is still in the right of way, the city staff will begin removing them. Potentially with the help of the newspaper, maybe putting this in the paper as well to help communicate that to everybody that they have basically 27 days to move their sign up onto their private property or leave it at the right of way and we'll remove it, or they could help us out by removing them as well. Our code does allow signs to be on the property for 14 days after the permit has been issued. Several of these houses permits have been issued. Several have not. But again, if we were to check each address to see if the sign, if the project's been permitted yet or not, it would take more staff time than we have. So if the council is in favor of this, again, we would start promoting this in the following days to let residents know that they need to start either moving those signs up onto private property or removing them once the roof's done, and after the 30th. We will remove them. Now, the roofing companies can pick up those signs from the city. We're not throwing them away. So the roofing companies aren't out the money. They can come pick them up from us. If a resident really wants the sign, they can, get it from us as well and put it back in their yard. But this way we start to clean them up and we don't have signs just lingering throughout town in the right of way for who knows how long at this point. So I would stand for any questions you might have and see if you guys are all in favor of moving forward with us removing them after the 30th.
Chris?
How will this affect those folks that aren't going to get the roof done until spring?
So they could put the sign back once the permit is issued for 14 days. If we have, I mean, the solicitor's permits that have been issued are good for 6 months from the storm, so they could potentially be going and knocking on doors before their permit expires, or if they get renew their solicitor's license in the spring. So it would, if the sign is removed, it would keep them from, or it would keep them from letting people know that we've already committed with a company. But they could put the sign back in the yard for the 14 days after their permit is issued, so that way they can advertise for the company doing the work. But again, it would keep them from just being out for months on end.
Then my other question would be is that some people are getting their roofs done, but they're not getting the guttering and other work done until later.
Correct. So with our ordinance, it specifically does say permittable work or permitted work. We have not, because I think the ordinance is a little out of date, we have allowed, if you do work on the property, whether it's paint, siding, well, it's like a siding's permitted, but paint, gutters, as long as it's been on the property, we've allowed those. But again, we keep it to the 14 days in ordinance, just so we don't have those signs at all times. If they are placing them up on their private property and not in the right of way, we don't like to go on to private property to take them. So we make sure to take them out of the right of way.
Okay.
If they're on the private property, we usually allow it a little bit longer, just because at that point it is private property and we don't want to go take it off of private property.
Thank you.
Matt?
Is that something that could also be put on the permit when it's pulled? About, like, I didn't know, I texted Kyle that I got my final notice, my final payment, and they also sent me the permit that had been pulled that I had to call for a roofing inspection. I didn't know that because they didn't send it to me until a month after I had done it. And I brought up to Kyle about the purple thing that goes on the house, maybe having that put on there. Resident must call if they don't get their permit from the roofer. Then also maybe adding that to the permit, saying stuff needs pulled, but then again, the contractor needs to get them that information.
Yeah, we could look to, I think we would have to get with Encode to do some programming to get it, because those permits are loaded, generated, but we can potentially get them to add the text to it. So that way it's printed on there. We don't have to make sure we add it to every permit. If we added it to the display card, that would be us. We could add that very easily. That's just a note on there that, signs are only allowed for 14 business days or 14 days from the permit issuance.
Okay, thank you.
No, he answered my question.
Any other questions?
I would say that this wouldn't be a sweep. We wouldn't go out and pull them all December 1st. It'd be as we're in the neighborhoods, we'll pull them, because our staff have other things to do than just pull signs. But as we're out in the community and we start seeing them, we'll just start pulling them.
I move to approve staff to notify residents via social media and text MyGov about removing signs from the right-of-way by November 30th, 2025. After this date, if a sign remains in the right-of-way, staff will remove the signs according to city code. Signs on private property should be removed by the resident 14 days after the completion of their roof.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the sign regulations. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to the acceptance of the bid from Wildcat Construction for the Seneca Street multi-use path.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. What we have here is the contract with Wildcat Construction. They were the winning bid for the shared portion of the Seneca project, which would be the multi-use path. This will be completed with shared funds with WAMPO. It's an 80-20 split. Our portion of this will be $77,000. And then there you will see there's an invoice that will need to be signed this evening. And it's very good. I think it's very good that Wildcat did get it. We got one contractor on the whole project, so it provides some consistency.
Any questions or comments? Need a motion to approve?
I make a motion to accept the bid from Wildcat Construction and an approved invoice for city's portion in the amount of $77,000 and authorize mayor to sign.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the bid from Wildcat Construction for the Seneca Street multi-use path. Any further discussion, questions? All in favor of the motion, say by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Thank you.
We're going to do the executive session consultation with the attorney, Dean Privilege.
We had it last. Yeah.
Yeah, we put it last. 5 minutes. Okay, I need a motion to approve an executive session for 5 minutes.
I move for council to recess an executive session for consultation with attorney deemed privilege. Session to include council members, mayor, city attorney, and HR director. The open meeting will resume in city council chambers in 5 minutes.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve to go into executive session for 5 minutes. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Meeting will resume at 7:36.
Met in executive session to discuss attorney dean privilege information. No official action was taken.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to, let's see, I think it's item E now, the Ford Street sign. Neil?
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. What you have before you in the packet is a request to repair not the sign itself, but repair the settling problem that we've had out at the Ford Street welcome sign. The sign has shifted approximately 2.5 inches or so, and there's some noticeable separation between the pillar and the black part of the sign, the decorative part, I guess, if you will. And we recently had 2 vendors come out that work on foundation repairs and gave us their opinion as to what action to take to repair this and make the necessary repairs. Their opinion was, hey, we had a lot of rain this year. We've seen more basements with issues shifting and settling, and this is in their opinion, it was no different. Their recommendation and their fix was to install what they call helical piers, basically a big screw that goes down in the ground, and then it works to jack that sign back up and support it into the bedrock below, so you don't have any more shifting and settling. According to what they're telling me, they warranty them very, very well. This company that we're recommending warranties their work for 25 years. Their approach was a little bit different. The one company that did provide quotes submitted the quote for the price you have in there, installing 10 piers underneath it. The other one only, they did not submit a quote, but their discussion with me was that they were they felt like only supporting the one end that was shifting at the time we discussed it. So I don't really know because they never fully submitted another proposal. Anyways, we're recommending that we use IWP to restabilize and correct the misalignment on the sign and solidify the under portion of the sign in the amount of $19,000, $19,326.44. It does come with a 25-year warranty. I will say that we did verify and make sure that the sign company, George Lay, did follow the procedures, the design that they submitted during the process of construction. They did follow that. We verified that they put a footing underneath it in addition to the slab that it's under. Each the metal part of the sign, the black part, it's held up with 2 metal poles, and those metal poles proceed through the base of the sign, and they're supported in concrete piers as well as a pier underneath the footing or underneath the tower part of the sign. So they did follow their sign. I don't believe that this is an issue that was their fault or their problem. We did not pursue them. It is out of warranty, but it is, I do believe that it's not their issue. I think it's more attributed to that site and how that area was built up, and the fact that we had a lot of rain this year, especially according to the 2 professional groups that we had come out and review this process. So stand for any questions. Otherwise, we'd like to recommend the repairs to the sign.
Matt?
No, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't the sign people where we come back on them, that it was other outstanding issues that caused the failure. So that's all I was
Absolutely
curious about. With that, I'll make a motion to approve the footings for sign repair to IWP for $19,326.44.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the quote for the sign repairs. Is any further discussion?
I just had one question. Neil, what was this coming out of? What budget? I know I saw it and I can't find it. There it is.
Yep,
Okay.
Building equipment reserve. We have
Thank you.
monies in my budget as well, equipment reserve, and we spoke with Clint ahead of time on this. So, yeah.
Okay.
Building equipment reserve.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to staff reports. Kyle.
Good evening again. My only report, and I just keep making a habit of it, to share how busy our department is with all of the permits. For the month of October, we issued 563 permits. That's up from 218 last month and up from less than 100 the 2 months prior. So it continues to keep us very busy. Bill is on vacation right now, so we are having MABCD fill in and do inspections. And they have completed 2 days of inspections so far, and we're keeping them busy as well. So stand for any questions.
Just a comment, county inspector showed up at my roof, on my door this morning and said he had 35 roofs after mine. So we're keeping it.
Yep. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. Neil?
Lions Park, as part of the playground up there, has been closed. We've got orange safety fence around it for a couple of weeks now. Some of the repairs that we've been working on are weather dependent, and we've had to kind of back and forth with fought the weather a little bit for temperature issues. We've been repairing several items on the playground, doing some maintenance on the poured-in-place rubber surfacing out there. We've actually been self-performing that work as opposed to contracting that one out, which the kits are very expensive, but to self-perform it saves quite a bit of money. So we were kind of excited about that. This is a new thing that we've tried to implement, and so far it's working really well. To have companies come in, it's quite a bit more money to do that. So we're in the process of learning as we go, but it seems to be working very well, and it seems to be very consistent with what we've had the other companies come out and do in the past as far as quality of work. So it seems to be like something we may be doing more of in the future. We've also been working on the slide, one of the slides there at the park, which I guess the only reason I really go into detail about this is because, again, we've tried some new processes with some plastic welding processes to repair the slide components themselves, and it seems to be working pretty well. We're anxious to put them back into service here very soon, and save some money on this stuff. A lot of our playground equipment is in that 20-25 year range, and components are very difficult to come by, or very expensive, or you have to completely change out the component to make something else work in its place. So being able to repair it was pretty neat for us. We were pretty happy with ourselves to be able to spend the time and figure out how to fix this stuff and actually see it work. So again, we're anxious to put it back into service and hope to very soon. I know crews are out working on it today, and we're hoping to probably wrap it up before the end of the week. So, thank you.
Questions? Thank you, Neil. Lloyd? Rodney?
Real quick, Riabella, they've been pouring some concrete out there. They got both cul-de-sacs poured, a little bit of the road coming out to the cul-de-sac to the main road poured. Of course, they have on the south side of the main road going in, they have that one drainage ditch, and they got that concrete flume poured in there. Seneca project, bridge work continues. Of course, we approved the bid for the multi-use trail tonight, and the water line work has been pushed back to start on the 17th of this month. As far as now the 800-pound gorilla, the brush pile. So they are basically, I would say, real close to done. We had to shut them down today. When they first started, that whole incinerator was working the way it was supposed to work. It was burning hot. It was very little smoke. As they got down in that gigantic pile, they're finding that the wood was wetter than they expected. And it had sat there and been rolled and turned, and some of it was actually turning into dirt. So it was creating more smoke than they expected. When I went and shut them down today, they were on their third pit they had dug to try to get this thing all burned up. Guy doing it was amazed at how long it was taking. I'm going to meet with Fremar tomorrow. There was a lot of, if you go out there and look, it almost looks like the pile's gone. It's just little debris around. If you look from the road, there's more than that when you get back there. However, if you remember when you go into the brush pile, you go back there and there was a Millings Road kind of in a cul-de-sac type deal. And then they were dumping the brush in the middle. Well, in the middle of that is about a 24-inch deep pond. You go about 24 inches deep before you hit hard pan dirt, and it's just mud and water. And what we may end up having to do is a lot of that debris, taking it to the west and spreading it out in that west and just let it sit there and dry over the winter. Let it just dry out. Taking some of that excess dirt and filling in the middle of that, and it's going to take a little while and build that up so it's higher than the road around it, so it'll drain off. That water will drain off. So consequently, the brush pile will have to be closed for a little longer to get that work done. We did notice there was a great deal of construction debris inside that pile. As always, we have a pretty hard time controlling who goes in there and who doesn't. I don't know, maybe advertising it on the internet or on social media is we're advertising it to the people we don't want to be advertising it to. But
Well, I've got an opinion that we ought to shut that thing down unless we have another major ice storm or storm. Because we get a lot of outside, we don't monitor it well enough that we can keep outsiders from bringing their leaves in or their trash.
take personnel to monitor it.
Yeah, I've seen it advertised as a dump site. The Valley Center's dump site, which, that's not what it is. It's for tree limbs. And it's sad to me that the city has to suffer for other people's stuff. But, there's not any tree trimming going on now. And we haven't had a storm. All the brush is pretty well cleared up. I'd say we shut that thing down until we have a major problem. That's my own opinion. I don't know how the council feels about it, but we've got too many people and as the weather gets colder, the tires and stuff like that are going to start showing up, I'm afraid.
We have received warnings even in the old location before. KDHE can show up at any time they want. And if they find construction debris or garbage or anything like, they're at their discretion. They can just say, you're shut down. You can't do this. They can pull your permit.
So I think that's something we need to look at as a council. Any other questions or comments to Rodney?
Apologize for all the smoke, and I wish I could have grabbed it earlier this morning, but I left the meeting we were in and noticed the smoke was being blown up from the south and got out there, and the guy shut it down, and he walked me around and showed me what was going on and explained what the trouble was. And so we'll get with Fremar and we'll try to figure out a different strategy. So.
Okay, thank you, Rodney.
Yep.
Mr. Shear? Barry? Janice? Clint?
Good evening. Just a brief update. We have kind of wrapped up the second half of the storm damage from an insurance standpoint. Neil and I have had numerous discussions on this, and we decided to award the entire contract for all buildings for the city to Farha Construction. That is going to help us get some slightly favorable terms. I think we're going to come in a little bit underneath the previous out-of-pocket expense that we thought. In addition, every shingled building that the city owns is going to be upgraded to Category 5 impact resistant. which I think is going to give us a nice insurance discount and probably would they be able to withstand some of the smaller hailstorms in the years to come. So we both feel very good about that. Their top priority, they have 3 things that they're going to try to knock out before the weather gets really bad. The old city building, the skylights are leaking. That's their first priority. The second one is the wastewater building roof is leaking. And the last one is a well over there near Abilene School also needs to be fixed. So those are their 3 things, and they're going to try to jump on that as quickly as possible. But we have signed a contract with Farhawk Construction, and they are going to get going pretty quickly and working with Neil's team to kind of decide after those 3 projects which ones they want to do and what order. So, and for any questions you have.
Questions? Thank you, Clint. Christie?
I'm going to report on the city administrator search. The committee has met. We requested any interested parties submit them by last Friday, the 31st, so that we could begin the review of it. I believe we had 21 letters of interest and resumes, and I felt some very good qualified candidates. So I was excited to see that. The committee did narrow it down to 6 that we are going to start the process with. And following a short interview via Zoom so that they don't all come in, we will then choose the top 3. We are hoping to do the same type of a round robin interview process that we did with our last city administrator, so that we have input from council, staff, the community. So it's not just 1 or 2 people making these decisions, because they represent the city. So hopefully we can get things rolling quickly. There's no reason really to wait. We also realize that any candidate that comes in is going to need to give notice, and we're not releasing any names until we do narrow it down to those finalists that we will bring in. So excited for the process, and it's good working with the committee.
Thank you. Moving on to governing body reports. Just a comment on Trick or Treat Street. Holy mackerel, I didn't know we had that many kids in town. Woo! Also, I guess this is to you, Kyle. The pallet company, if they're making any headway or what, except stacking pallets everywhere. I was by there today. They even got a flatbed sitting out front full of pallets.
Captain Banning, who was just here a little bit earlier, stopped in my office this morning and let me know I think they're planning to do another follow-up inspection, I think in 2 weeks, I believe is what he told me. And then Howard, the building owner, emailed me today and let me know where the status is of all of their drawings. Basically, they have like 2 more things that they need to submit to MABCD for review before we can get their permit issued for the work to begin. So they're moving forward, and the fire department is staying on top of making sure that they're in compliance with the fire regulations outside.
I guess my concern is how high are they going to stack them stacks before they're actually getting into business?
I know they are tall, but to my knowledge, they are within, unless they've gotten taller since Nick was there last, my understanding is they're within the guidelines that he has provided them.
Okay, because there's a lot of them there.
There are.
Okay, that's all I have. Ron?
I got 2 things. One is thank you for the proclamation honoring the military. That's the first one. The second one is please spread the word that we would like any veteran to attend the supper next Monday at 7 o'clock at the community center. If you're interested in coming, please give us a call. Or when you get there at the door, please sign in. Other than that, no, I have nothing else.
Amy?
Just a couple of things. First of all, I wanted to thank Neil and his team for pouring that concrete square at the park. I walk that every single morning and I'm always going around it. So I'm excited I won't have to. So thank you for that. And I had the same curiosity about the pallet company. I know we gave them a deadline of 90 days from the issuance of the permits, but what you're saying is they haven't even gotten the permits yet? Is there a way of giving a timeline for that as well, or is that not feasible?
Part of it is because we do not do the plan review in-house. And so they have submitted to MABCD, but MABCD came back with more comments. And so they had to go back and resubmit. And they're almost to that point of resubmission to MABCD. And hopefully this will be the final submission. Hopefully they will have addressed everything from the previous comments so that we can get to the point of issuing permits. I agree that yes, this is a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but that is part of the plan review is part of that plan review is to try and make sure that everything is caught before permit issuance. So we don't get into a project and then realize, oh, we forgot that you need to add sprinklers or, whatever the case might be. And I know both Bill and Nick have been going back and forth with their, I believe with the sprinkler company, to give them options for whether they can either upgrade the sprinkler system and not do roof vents, or keep the same type of sprinkler system they have in the building, but they have to install roof vents that have to be tied into their alarm system. So they're going through that to determine what is most feasible for them.
So when they came back to them with more comments, there's no deadline for them to have to get back with them, right?
No, and you're correct that our the motion or the contingent approval was not based on timeline of actually getting the permit. We anticipated it to be within, I think 6 weeks from that meeting. But no, MABCD does not give them a time frame as to when to get back, resubmit. They just basically give them the comments and then they tell them, when you're ready, resubmit, and they'll review them again.
Okay.
Is MAPC keeping us in the loop, or is it just between them and?
No, they generally they contact Bill directly and let Bill know, and then Bill lets me know what's going on. So we're and I've forwarded them on to Nick as well, so Nick knows what's going on because he's the one going out and doing more frequent inspections to help them make sure they're in compliance. So Nick is aware of what's going on with their review process as well.
Okay, anything else, Amy?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Ben?
I have nothing.
Gina?
SCAC is meeting November 15th in Goddard. Attend if you can. Also, the Historical Society is hosting a craft show and ham and bean luncheon, I believe, this Saturday.
Yep.
So try to help support them.
Anything else?
No.
Chris?
Just wanted to say I'm glad to be back. I apologize for my absence. That's it.
Matt?
I want to comment on Halloween. We had 3 different police officers go up our street. My wife went out and gave them candy. We ended up being short because of that. She got on me because I was eating some of them, but she gave some away too. But they said they were out giving out candy. I thought that was pretty cool. And I've got it on my calendar for next year right before this to recommend anyone that does the trunk or treat, if they have candy left over, donate it to the police department so they can hand that stuff out. Yeah.
My experience with that candy left over, they were in the wrong place.
Well, and with that, I will make a non-negotiable
Non-negotiable.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion, a second to adjourn. Is there any further questions or discussions? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Don't care.
Definitely.